No, this story is totally awesome, you guys, and I just got the Shoggoth out of my fireplace. Last time me and Pinky did something like this, we had so much fun. You're just gonna...
Good morning.
Oh, it's the middle of the afternoon.
It's always morning somewhere. I am going to read today. You are dismissed, Rainbow Dash.
Okay, see you guys later.
I was bored. Twilight awakens in her bedroom. She's depressed, as per usual. Each day fails to present reason to draw further breath. Her servant Spike does not respect her, and when he grows to suitable age, he will devour Twilight with impunity. It is naught but fear of death which impels the young mare to study. Time is non-refundable. The Reaper sharpens his tool for the harvest, indifferent as the sun, which rises and sets each day as if the creatures below were but meaningless trivia to its majestic arc. The tool, which Twilight foolishly calls friend, belches forth a scroll. The parchment falls to the floor waiting to be retrieved. Go on, my faithful student.
I go to pick up the scroll.
A wise choice. Because as you discover, the scroll was sent by none other than your beloved benevolent teacher. She requests, with much honey and adoration, that you find a particular book and you cast a particular spell. That is your lesson for today. She asks of you very little. Twilight thinks, I wonder what my parents are doing.
Probably nothing as interesting as being Celestia, student. I get straight to work. I crack open the book and look at how to cast that spell.
It looks simple. Too simple. Perhaps Celestia is growing feeble in her old age. Perhaps she became unhinged years ago. Perhaps it's about time someone overthrew Celestia and took her place, before her frothing madness swallows up the entirety of Equestria. Do you disagree?
I think that this spell is going to teach me a valuable life lesson. Whatever it is, I get to casting it right away.
Oh, Twilight. If I were a lesser pony, I'd be furious with you. How lucky for us both that I am a god. The world grows at alarming speed. Or rather, you appear to be shrinking. Further and further the walls and furniture tower above you. Your body is racked with extreme pain as it undergoes morphological changes that were never meant to be. You feel organs shift and buckle. Your liver slips, causing you a thick, cutting agony. When at last the horror reaches its inevitable conclusion, you remain an insect, but at this time in a form more fitting your demeanor. Dear student, you are a spider. 8 hairy legs, venomous pincers, and no horn to speak of. If no stallion would love you before, your odds now seem severely diminished.
But I don't want to be a spider.
Someone is sympathetic, I'm sure.
I uncast the spell.
And how do you intend to do that? As I recall, you ignorantly performed the rites without reading the fine details. Mainly, you did not prepare a means to reverse it, and now you are trapped. Just as you are trapped in this story until you find a way to return to your plain pony shape.
Then I go to get Spike. I don't know how yet, but this is his fault, and he's gonna do all the hard work to fix it, or I'll bite him in his sleep.
You cry out to Spike, but it is of no use. By what means did you intend to speak to him? At what point have you ever spoken to a spider? Besides, I'd best beware, student. Pray, what does Spike do when he catches spiders around your domicile?
He eats them, with extreme prejudice. They're one of the few things he feels he has any power over.
Well then.
So what, I'm trapped as a spider in a story all by myself for the rest of eternity?
That will be the case. But Providence saw fit to smile upon you. Another spider crawls from between the cracks in the walls. A bright red creature, unlike any species you've seen in the area before.
Twilight, is that you? I recognize your hairy purple butt.
Applejack's brother?
Yup. Twilight, Why am I a spider, and how did I get here?
We're trapped in a story being read by Celestia. We have to find a way out.
When did that happen? I was just walking up to town from the farm a few minutes ago.
Seriously?
Oh, I suppose I should mention that this is a lesson for you, and I could care less what memories the Red One retains. You may want to redirect your line of conversation, lest you look like an insane, modestly unappealing arachnid.
Applejack's brother, we need to find a way to turn back into ponies. Can you help me?
Well, I'll be honest. I'm only good at two things. One is heavy lifting, and the other, well, anyone will tell you they don't call me Big Mac for nothing.
Okay, great. Well, we can rule out one of your skill sets because as a female spider, I'm actually bigger than you, so I can lift more than you can, and the other is not useful at all. So, in general, we can conclude that you are not useful. And you have a girl's voice.
Well, hey now, let's not rule anything out. We still haven't proven that my other skill set won't turn us back into ponies. It's done some amazing things before.
He has a point. Thanks to your idiocy, your only option now is to learn from scratch whatever will undo this spell you've cast. Since you have no reasonable way of forming a good hypothesis, you might as well try anything. Several times, of course, to eliminate confounding outliers.
Fine. We'll give it a shot, but you better do it right.
Not that I'm picky or anything, but I was just wondering if we could find another spider. Maybe another male spider.
Twilight put on a tough exterior, but deep down her heart was wounded. Could her sniggering classmates have been correct?
Why do we need another spider? What's wrong with me, huh? Am I too fat?
I just think it would help things.
Well, forget it. You'll take what you get and you'll like it.
Okay, let's get started then.
Hang on, you're not doing it right.
I think I'd know if I was doing it wrong.
But spiders have very complex mating rituals. You have to do the mating ritual.
Yep, that's what I'm doing.
But you have to do it right or I'll eat you.
I'm telling you, I know what I'm doing.
The red male begins dancing. His movements are hypnotic, and Twilight finds herself sedated, as if by a unique magic she will never experience again. The rest is biology. Several days later, Twilight finds herself laying a clutch of eggs. The act is as painful as giving birth 1,000 times over.
Why? This is the worst day.
2 weeks pass, and no progress has been made in finding a solution to Twilight's conundrum. Meanwhile, Macintosh and Twilight have entered the misery stage of their relationship, wherein Twilight relentlessly henpecks her male companion into a state of alcoholism. He is miserable because everything he does is wrong, and she is miserable because everything he does is wrong.
So Applejack's brother, we've ruled out courtship, the miracle of childbirth, and hating each other as a means to change back into ponies.
So, what do you want me to do about it?
I want you to clean up the web is what I want you to do. This thing was totally spotless before you moved in.
Y'all were living alone for 5 minutes, and y'all never clean anything. I bet that without Spock around, y'all probably would have stewed in your own filth as a pony. I clean everything I use, so it lends itself to reason that everything should be clean if you aren't making messes.
Well, obviously you're not cleaning everything you use because the place is still a mess.
I want to go back to being a bachelor stallion. I'm Miss Caramel.
That's it. I'm going to my side of the web and I'm gonna cry until you apologize to me.
Twilight, look, I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. It's my fault. You're right. I'll try to clean up around here more often.
Good, because I still have a bunch of other emotional problems that are your fault.
Well, seems I have things to do. Let's wrap this up, shall we? Twilight's disgusting arachnid children burst from their egg sacs in an unholy wave of chitinous newborn lust for sustenance. They cover the floor like a carpet of living death.
What is this crap? Alright, look. Applejack's brother, I have a plan. I want you to kill me. Throw me into the sea of spider babies.
Are y'all sure? It seems unlikely that we'll be blamed for this on account of the fact that no one knows we're spiders, and how would they find us anyway?
Just do it.
Macintosh throws Twilight into the millions of skittering mouths below, but Death's sweet embrace eludes the girl. As with all things in her life, she is merely swept away against her will. Her children lead her down the stairs, stopping briefly over Spike to drain the vital fluids from his body. Perhaps a poetic justice for the spiders that they would appreciate if they were not the ilk of their parents' pairing. Out they go, pouring out of the windows and sweeping down the streets of Ponyville, picking the place clean of life. At last they reach the edge of town, and there, riding atop a hitherto unknown alicorn who introduces himself as Argenbarger, is another spider. The spider announces itself to be none other than the famed Merriam-Webster.
Cute.
The alicorn uses his fantastic power to annihilate the swarm of disobedient children, absorbing their essence in the wake of their deaths. He escorts Twilight back to her home and returns her to her natural form as a pony. There, he explains that Merriam has been his companion for the past 1,000 years. The alicorn had always adored Twilight from afar, but with the recent turn of events, both Argenbarger and Merriam have fallen hopelessly in love with Twilight.
Get a newspaper, roll it up, squash Miriam. You're next if you don't get out of here, buddy.
He obliges out of blind, stupid romantic inclinations. Now I suppose that concludes our little tale. I hope you have learned something valuable, my faithful student, because I'll be expecting a full report on what you learned by tomorrow.
I'll get right on it.
Well, this was such a valuable learning tool. I think that from now on, all residents of Ponyville should be required to sit in for your friend's little readings whenever she requests it. You could always use more Aesops. Twilight. Hello, beer.
Don't turn to the Corey now.
I love beer. The spider announces itself to be none other than the famed Merriam-Webster. I will you in the street.
It's rather cold out.
That'll happen. Well then. I just spit all over your monitor, and I am sorry.
I'm just gonna sit over here and judge you.
Okay, good.